Hey, what is up guys, Phoenix here, and welcome to part 2 of our Dabi from My Hero Academia pixel art tutorial. So where we first left off, we just did our kind of left to right usual build we do. We're still missing a lot of the jacket, the neck, and just everything in general. But what I want to do for this part is I want to do the little stitches in his mouth, just because I don't really want to do those. So the sooner I do that, the more motivated I am to just do the rest of the build. So what we're going to do is on the left side of the pixel art, you can see where we have all these placement blocks. You can see we have this 4 vertical, we have this 1 single in the middle, and then we also have these placement blocks on this 2 vertical right here. So I want you to fly over to that, and that's where we're going to be starting for today. So right here. It's right connected to this 1 single to the right of it. So once you find out, all we're going to do is first we're going to put our placement block above it, and we're going to go up and to the left, 4 vertical, 1 2 3 4. We're also going to have light gray concrete in our inventory, just so that way you can color the stitches early if you want to. From that 4 vertical we just created, we're going to go to this second to last block from the bottom, so this one right here, and I want you to put 1 coal to the left, and then we're going to put 3 to the right, 1 2 3. Perfect. From that 1 coal to the left, we're going to put our placement block to the left of it, like so. So that way we can go up and to the left 2 vertical, 1 2. We're then going to go up and to the left 4 vertical, placement block on top, 1 2 3 4. From that 4 vertical, we can go to the top block and put a placement block to the right of it, and go up and to the right 1 single, like so. From that single, we can then go up into the left 2 vertical, 1 2, and mark that 2 vertical for later. That's going to be the ear going up into his hair. But like I said, we're only doing the stitches today, so that's why I'm marking it, and we're coming back to it later. Instead, we're going to go back to the 1 single right here and go underneath it with our placement block. So that way we can go down into the right, 4 vertical, 1 2 3 4. And now that we have this 4 vertical gap right here and this 2 vertical gap right here, that's going to be the first stitch. We can then fill that in. Perfect. So you can use light gray concrete, or I think light gray wool should be fine. I'm pretty sure that's the color I used in the ending. If you have to swap it out later, it should be fine. Like, you'll know what color to swap out. But for now, I'm just going to use light gray concrete because I think that's what I used. Anyways, now that you have that filled in, we can drop back down to where we had this 1 single on the left and 3 on the right. And we're going to work with the 3 on the right we created by going to the final block in that, so this one over here, and we're going to put 1 coal on top and 3 coal below it, 1 2 3. From that 1 coal on top, we're going to then put a placement block above it and go up and to the right 2 flat, 1 2, and then from the right block in that 2 flat, we're going to put 5 below it, 1 2 3 4 5, like so. And as you can see, it kind of evened out with this little plank we had on the left side. All we're going to do from there now is we're going to go to this second to last block from the bottom, so this one right here. And we're going to put 1 coal to the right of it. Then we're going to go to this last block on the bottom, and we're going to put a coal underneath it, so that way we can go down into the left 2 vertical, 1 2. And from that 2 vertical, we're going to put a placement block underneath the bottom block. So that way we can go down into the right 2 flat, 1 2, and then on the right block in that 2 flat, we're going to put 2 blocks going above it, 1 2. So now if you zoom out, you can kind of see it. I mean, you might not be able to see it until we color it in, but it's kind of like that stitch where it's just like 2 pieces connected at a diagonal. So I'm going to color this in with the light gray so you can see. So it's these 2 right here, and then this little plank right here, 5. That's going to be the second stitch. And the way we're going to bridge off of it is from this 1 single we have to the right. We're going to then put a placement block to the right of it. So that way we can go down into the right 2 more singles. 1 2. Then down into the right 2 flat. 1 2. And this is going to be the start of the 3rd stitch. From that 2 flat, we're going to go to the right block in it. And we're going to put 3 coal underneath. 1 2 3. We're then going to go placement block underneath and go down into the right 2 vertical, 1 2. down into the right 2 flat, 1 2. From the right block into 2 flat, we're then going to go above it and put 7 coal going straight up, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And then from the top block in that 7 vertical we just added, we're going to put 2 coal to the left, 1 2, which closes out this shape, and we can now color this in with light gray concrete as well, because that's the 3rd stitch in his face. Perfect. So as much as this looks like a pain in the butt from the zoomed out perspective, I think I'm doing a good job at explaining it to you guys, so hopefully you're able to follow along. What we're going to do next is go over to where we had this plank that we added 7 to the top of, and starting from the bottom, we're going to count up 4 blocks. So 1 2 3 4, so this one right here, and we're going to put 1 coal to the right and use that to start the next stitch. From that 1 coal to the right, we're then going to go down into the right 1 single, down into the right 3 flat, 1 2 3, and then we're going to go to the final block in that 3 flat, so this one right here, and we're going to put another 3 going straight down, 1 2, whoops, 2 3. Now from the top, we can go above it and put a placement block on top, so we can go up into the right 2 vertical, 1 2. And then from the top block in that 2 vertical, we can put 2 more to the right, 1 2, like so. I would continue with this, but it's going to end up meeting up with what we did down here. So actually, no, I'll just continue with it. We'll bring it back around. So from the 2 to the right we just added, we're then going to put 8 blocks below it. So let's go underneath, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, like so. And then on this bottom block, we're going to put 1 coal to the left. We're then going to put a placement block after that, so that way we can go up into the left 2 vertical and complete this shape. So 1 2, perfect. So that completes that stitch as well. So we're going to then fill this in with light gray concrete, and we're almost at the center point, which is going to mean we're going to have to finish the mouth, and then we're going to work on the right side of stitches. So should be quite the fun task to do. Anyways, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to go starting from the bottom again. On this bottom right side, we're going to count up 4 blocks, 1 2 3 4, exactly like what we did over here, except this time we're going to be putting 2 coal to the right of that 4th block. So 1 2, just like that. From that 2 coal, we're then going to go down into the right 1 single, down into the right 2 flat 2 times in a row, 1 2, that's 1, 1 2, that's 2. And then from this second set of 2 flat over here, what we're going to do is go to the right block in it, and we're going to do 2 things. First, we're going to go below the right block and put 4 placement blocks going straight down, 1 2 3 4, and then a coal underneath that. Then also from this right block, we're going to put an extra coal to the right of it, creating a 3 length, and from that extra block to the right, we're going to put 1 below it and 4 on top, 1 2 3 4. Perfect. I'm going to mark that now to come back to it later, because this block that we have floating down here when we went down from the second block is actually going to be some of the lines in his face. So I'd rather get that done sooner rather than later, just so that way I don't forget about them. So from this first line in his face, or this first single, we're going to go up and to the left from it, 2 flat 3 times in a row. So let's put our placement block to the top or left side. We're going to do 2 flat 3 times in a row. 1 2, that's 1, 1 2, that's 2, and then finally 1 2, that's 3. All right, that's line number 1. Very simple. We'll go back to the single right here and put a placement block below it, then a coal below that, and from that coal we're going to add an extra block to the left, and then just like what we did up here, we're going to go up into the left 2 flat 3 times in a row. So placement block to the top or left side, 1 2, that's 1, 1 2, that's 2, and then finally 1 2, that's 3. All right, looking good. There's just minor detail, and it's going to look really good once we start coloring everything. Now we're going to go back to this first block again, except instead of 1 block below this time, we're going to put 3 placement blocks going straight down. 1 2 3, and then a coal below that. And from that coal, we're going to go up into the left 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1 2, that's 1, 1 2, that's 2. And then we're going to finish these lines by going up into the left 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now we can backtrack to that 6 vertical that we marked up here that we didn't continue off of and continue with the stitches. So let's remove the placement blocks and go back to it. And what we're going to do is we're first going to go to the bottom block in it and put a placement block underneath or to the right side. So that way we can go down into the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2. From the bottom block into 2 vertical, we're going to add an extra coal to the right, creating this L shape for loser. And then at the end of the L shape, we're going to put a placement block so that way we can go up into the right, 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3. Placement block on top. Up into the left, 5 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from that 5 vertical, we're going to go to the top block in that and put an extra coal to the left. Now this locks out the shape and creates another stitch, so we can color that in. So let's just do it quickly, row by row. Would time lapse it, but I don't see a point in that. Anyways, on the right side where we have this 3 vertical right here, we can put a placement block above it or to the right side, so that way we can go up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And this is heading towards the center point, which is basically going to be his mouth. So we can do the detail below his mouth as well. It's very hard to do, but I think we can do it. So I'll probably end up doing that right now as well before finishing the left side, or we'll finish the right side, or we'll finish up the right side and then do the bottom detail. Anyways, from the 3 flat, we're going to go up into the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up into the right 3 flat again. 1, 2, 3. Up into the right 7 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up into the right 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up into the right 8 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And from that 8 flat, we're going to go to this first block on the left side. And I want you to count 5 placement blocks below it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 coal below that. From that 1 coal below, we're going to put 2 coal to the right of it. And we can mark it to come back to later. That's going to be the stitches, or the stitches below his chin basically are going to start here. But like I said, I'm going to do the right side of the stitches first before we worry about those details. From the 8 flat, we're then going to go to the end of it and put a placement block, so that way we can go up into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. And now we're going to be starting the right side of the face. So from the right block in that 2 flat, we're going to put 2 coal on top. 1, 2. We're then going to go up into the left 2 vertical. 1, 2. Up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go to the final block in that 3 flat and go below it with 1 single. Placement block below that, so we can go down into the right 1 single. And then from that single, we're going to put a placement block to the right side, so that way we can do 2 bridges. On the right side of this placement block, we're going to put 2 coal after it. 1, 2. And then underneath this placement block, we're going to put 4 coal going straight down. 1, 2, whoops, 2, 3, 4. Now the reason we bridged out is because from this 2 flat, we're going to continue to the next stitch. But from this 4 vertical, we can continue finishing this stitch and just making it meet up back with this original L. So we're going to go to the bottom of this 4 vertical right here and put a placement block underneath. So that way we can go down into the left 2 vertical. 1, 2. Down into the left 2 flat. And now we need to bring it back up. So we're going to go placement block above this left block right here. And from that placement block, we're going to put 1 coal to the left of it. And then 2 coals above it. 1, 2. And that should have completed the shape. So we can now color in that stitch. So now we have 6 stitches done. So that's pretty good. I think we only have like 3 more to do. And there's like 1 really close to the ear on both sides. But it's not too hard. Now we can go back to this 2 flat over here. And from there, I want to go up and to the right. So let's put a placement block to the right side. 1 single. Up and to the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Up and to the right 3 vertical. 1, 2, 3. From that 3 vertical, we can go to the bottom block and put a placement block underneath it, so that way we can go down into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2. We can also go to the top of that 3 vertical and put a placement block above it, so that way we can go up into the left 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3, and it should look something like this. You can see it's just bridging in 2 different directions. It's all going to meet up with itself eventually, so I wouldn't worry about it. We're going to go back to the 3 vertical at the top though and work with that instead. So let's put a placement block above it and go up into the right 1 single. Then we need to bring it back down, so placement block underneath, and we're going to go down into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2. Down into the right 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3. And then from that 3 vertical, we're going to do something similar to what we did over here, where above it, we're going to put a placement block at the top right here, so that way we can go up into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2, and we can mark that. But at the bottom, in order to complete the shape, we need to continue working with that. So we're going to put a placement block on the bottom and go down into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2. And then to lock out this shape, we're just going to put a placement block on the bottom again and go down into the left 1 single. Perfect. So now we can color this in with light gray concrete as well. Whoops, wrong spot. There we go. And then we can move on to this 2 vertical we just marked to do the next stitch. So we should only have about 3 more to do, which is pretty good. What we're going to do is from this 2 vertical now, I'm going to remove that placement block right here, and we're going to go up into the right 2 vertical a second time. 1, 2. Up into the right 1 single. Up into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2. Up into the left 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3. From the top of that 3 vertical, we're going to put a placement block to the top or right side, up into the right 1 single. We're then going to go down into the right 2 singles from there, 1, 2. And from this second single right here, all we're going to do is put 5 more coal below it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we need to double layer up on these bottom 2 blocks by adding an extra coal to the left of each. So 1, 1, just like that, and this should lock out the shape. Once you have that, you can fill this in with light gray concrete as well. Perfect. Once you have that filled in, we can go to this top right corner where we have this single right here and just put a placement block to the right side of it like so. And then we're going to put 1 coal after that. From that 1 coal, we're going to add an extra block on top, and then we'll be working with that. So next, we're going to go up into the right, 2 flat, placement block to the top or right side, 1, 2. And then from the left block in that 2 flat, we're going to go and put 1 coal above it, creating another loser L. From this right block, we're then going to go down into the right 1 single, up into the right 4 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go up into the left 2 vertical, 1, 2. And then from this top of this 2 vertical, we're going to split into 2 directions. So we're going to put a placement block on top of it. On the right side, we're going to put 1 single. And then on the left side, we're going to put 2 flat going to the left, 1, 2. We're going to come back to this single shortly. We just need to close out this shape. So from this 2 flat, we're then going to go to the left block in it and put 2 coal underneath, 1, 2. And then we're going to put a placement block below that, so that way we can go down into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2. All right, so now we can color this 2 vertical right here in, and then this little T shape in with the light gray concrete, which completes the shape for this stitch as well. And then we have 1 left, I believe we have 1 left. So all we're going to do now is from this single that we marked, we're then going to go up into the right 1 single, up into the right 4 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just to join this back to his chin, we're going to go to the bottom of the 4 vertical and put a placement block underneath. So that way we can go down into the right 6 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, that connects it to the rest of his chin. So that's just a little bit of detail right there that I just wanted to clarify for now. What we can then do is go back to the 4 vertical and work with the top of it now. And we're going to put a placement block above it, so that way we can go up into the left 3 vertical. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to go to the top block in that 3 vertical and put 1 coal to the right. From there, we're going to go down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 5 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can actually color that in now because that's going to be the final stitch. So let's just fill this little area in right here and we are good. So there's a little bit more. There's like ear detail and parts of his hair sticking out right here. But like I said, I'm only focused on the stitches for this part of the tutorial. So we are done with that. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It is kind of time consuming because it did eat up like an entire chunk of this tutorial. But now let's move on to the little lines below his chin, and hopefully we can get that done in a reasonable amount of time. Apologies for the jump cut. I did this part already and it ended up being incorrect because I miscounted. So I deleted all the progress and I'm just going to redo this part for you guys. So what we're going to do for the stitches in the jaw is we're going to go down to where we have this 3 flat marked out, and we can remove the placement blocks from it now. And on the right side of the 3 flat, we can go and put a placement block at the end. So that way we can go up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And on the left side of the 3 flat, we can put a placement block underneath it. So that way we can go down into the left 6 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're wondering where I messed up in the first place, I miscounted where that 3 flat was supposed to start at. And therefore the entire jaw was off by 3 blocks. It's pretty sad. Let's go to the end of the 6 flat over here and put a placement block underneath. So that way we can go down into the left 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll go to the bottom, the final block on the 4 flat. So this one all the way on the left side. And on the bottom of it, we're going to put 2 coal going underneath. 1, 2. From the first coal we put underneath, we're going to put 4 coal to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. And from the bottom block right here, we're going to put a placement block underneath so we can go down into the left 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. But also, once we remove that placement block, we're going to go back to that bottom block again and put an extra 8 pieces of coal to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Once you have that 8 to the right that we just placed, what you can do is from this right side, we can count to the left 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. So this one right here. And we can put 1 placement block below it. And then 2 coal below that. 1, 2. We can come back to that 2 coal shortly. All we're going to do is go to this 8 flat again. And put a placement block on the right side. So that way we can go up into the right 1 single. And then placement block again so we can go up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now once you have that, that should seal out the shape for you so you can color the inner part with the light gray. And then we can move on to the 2 vertical that we have right here, just floating by itself. So from that 2 vertical, we can go to the bottom block in it. And I want to put an extra 4 pieces of coal to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to that last block in that 4 to the right we just placed, we can put a placement block to the right side of it. And what we want to do is go up into the right 4 flat from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. But before we remove that placement block, we can go underneath it and put a single. And then we can put 2 extra coals to the right of that single. 1, 2. Perfect. So now we should have this. Going back to that final block again. Instead of adding a placement block, we're going to go underneath it and put 2 coal going straight down. 1, 2, just like that. Placement block underneath it. We can go down into left 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down into left 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up into the left 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from that 5 flat, we're going to go to this first block on the right side, so this one right here, and put 2 coal on top of it. 1, 2. And then from the top block in that 2 coal, we're going to put 2 extra pieces to the left. 1, 2. And 3 extra pieces to the right. 1, 2, 3. And this should close out the shape again. So now we can go and fill in with the light gray. This was a lot more difficult the first time, and now that I've gotten experience with it, it's easier for me to kind of see how to string these blocks together without confusing you guys too much. Anyways, from the 4 flat on the bottom right here, we're going to go all the way to the right side right here and put an extra coal below that last block. And then below that, we're going to put a placement block so that way we can go down into the right, 5 flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From that 5 flat, we're going to go to the final block now and put 1 coal underneath it. And now we're going to do 2 things. First, from this top block, so this one that we just put the block underneath, we're going to go up into the right 2 flat, 1, 2. And then from the single we just added below, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to put 2 blocks to the right, 1, 2. And then we're going to put a placement block underneath it, so that way we can go down into the left 2 flat, 1, 2. So if we zoom out, it should have a shape like this. Now from that 2 flat, we're going to put a placement block underneath it so we can go down into the left 8 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And from that 8 flat, if we start on the left side, we want to find the second block. And then going to the end, the third to last block. So these 2 right here. From the third to last block, we're going to put 2 coal above it. 1, 2. And then from that second block right here, we're going to put 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And that locks out the shape. So we can get rid of that placement block and then fill it in real quick. And then if we go to that second to last block, so this one right here, we can put 1 coal below it. And then from that 1 coal below, we can put a placement block underneath that and go down into the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. From that 4 flat, we can go to the final block and put a coal at the end. So that way we can go up into the right 1 single. And then up into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Once you have that 2 flat, we can backtrack to the 4 flat we have right here. And we can go to this last block on the right side and put an extra coal below that. From there, we can put a placement block to the left or bottom side, so that way we can go down into the left 2 flat, 1, 2, and that should have connected at the diagonal to the 2 vertical we previously had marked out. So you can remove those markers now. And from the top block in that 2 vertical, we can put 3 extra coal to the left side, 1, 2, 3. We can then go up into the left 3 flat, 1, 2, 3. And then from that 3 flat, if we go to this first block on the right side, we can put 1 coal on top and then 3 to the right of that. 1, 2, 3. And that locks out the shape perfectly. So now we can color that in. And that's it for all the stitches on his chin and his cheek. Now lastly, there are these sets of lines on his face. We already got 3 of them going on the left side. We have a couple of them on the right side to do, and they're very, very simple. So I'll just jump in and do them right now. So the way we will get into that is if we go to the stitches we have on the right side of his face, right here is the first one that we have. We can go below them and start working from there. So let's go to where we have this 2 flat on the bottom right here. And on the left block in the 2 flat, we're going to put 5 pieces of placement block below it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a coal below that. Then we're going to put 2 placement blocks below that. 1, 2. And then a coal. Then 2 placement blocks again. 1, 2. Then a coal. Then 2 placement blocks again. And then a coal. Alright. Once you have all 4 of these, we can start from the top. From this top one, we're going to go up and to the right. 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Very simple. From the second one, we're going to go up and to the right 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Very simple. Like I told you, it's very hard to mess this up. From the third one, we're going to go up and to the right 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. And then from the fourth one, we're going to go down into the left 1 single. And then up into the right 2 singles from the first block. So 1, 2. Perfect. Now we can move on to the second stitch to the right side. So underneath this stitch is where we did this first one. Move up to the next stitch where we have this L shape at the bottom. And what I want you to do is go to the right of the L shape where we have this 2 vertical right here, and we can use that to find our next spot. So from that 2 vertical, if we put a placement block below it, like so, we can then add 2 more placement blocks to the right of that, 1, 2, and then a coal, and that's where we can start this set. So from that coal, we're gonna put 1 extra block below it. We're then gonna go and put 3 placement blocks below it, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 coals going straight down again, 1, 2. Now you can get rid of the placement blocks, and just like what we had over here where we had a bunch of those stripes in his face, these 2 different lines are gonna be 2 different stripes. So starting from the top one, we're gonna go to the bottom block, and we're gonna go down into left 1 single, down into left 2 vertical, down into left 1 single, down into left 2 vertical, and then finally down into left 1 single. Just 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Very simple. Now we're gonna go to the second set of 2 vertical, and we're gonna go down into left 1 single, down into left 2 vertical, down into left 1 single, and then down into left 2 vertical. Very easy. All right, and now we have one last one to do. So the way we're gonna find that is, let's go up the cheek to where we have these marker blocks. You can see we have this single block marked, and then we have this 2 vertical right there. I'm sorry, this 2 flat, and then we have this 3 flat right here with no marker on it. What we can actually do is go to where we have this 3 flat with no marker, and it goes and gets intersected by this tall plank right here. And on the opposite side is where we're gonna put 1 coal, like so. Very easy to find. So let me just zoom out so you can see it a little bit. We just want that single on the opposite side right there. And then from that single, we're gonna put 2 placement blocks on top, 1, 2, and then 2 coal above that, 1, 2, and then you can remove the placement blocks. All right, and just like those previous cheek marks before it, we're gonna start with the 2 vertical right here and go down into left 1 single, down into left 2 vertical 2 times in a row, 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, that's 2, and then down to left 2 single 2 times in a row, 1, 2. Perfect. And now to finally finish this thing, we're gonna go to the single right here, and we're gonna go down into left 2 vertical 2 times in a row, 1, 2, that's 1, placement block underneath, 1, 2, that's 2, and then we'll finish up this part of the tutorial by going down into left 1 single. So there you have it. All the stitches and marks on the bottom half of his face are complete. And that's probably the hardest part to do, to be honest. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this part and were able to follow along. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more pixel art content. This is Phoenix, and as always, I'll see you guys later.